What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some more news concerning Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. The trash talk continues, the animosity rises. Tyson Fury says on an interview with the Smo that Eddie Hearn is a bitch. You tell him I said that. It is what it is. It's a harsh reality. And of course, to put the stank on it, the cherry on top with sprinkles, he said that Deontay Wilder is a dulcer, and old charismatic Smo was like, can you tell us what that means? I'm like, dude, what the hell? But anyway, he's a character. He says, yeah, the definition of a dulcer is Deontay Wilder. That's what the dulcer is. So, you know, he has a walk for words. I think that it angers Tyson Fury to get a smaller piece of the pot, especially someone with the ego that Tyson Fury has. You have to look at it that way. You have these three top fighters, and all of them have big egos. I know Fury, for one, has a huge ego. Deontay is another incredibly huge ego. Anthony Joshua, he has somewhat of an ego, but he appears to be the more recluse of the three. But nonetheless, they all have to have some portion of an ego boost or a conflict of personalities because of the things and accomplishments or how they look at themselves, honestly. So these fights are not getting made, and I think this is, this sparks back to Eddie Hearn and Tyson Fury having words, about Barry Hearn, what he said about Barry. He needs to put him back in the cupboard where he belongs, and you shouldn't let him out much. And then, of course, Eddie had some words to say to Tyson Fury about, hey, don't mess with my family. That's personal. Whatever we do and talk about, that's different. I'm not talking about your father. Don't talk about mine. Fair enough, whatever. Tyson Fury, rebutted. And, of course, it went back and forth. And I think Tyson Fury has not stopped yet. But Tyson Fury he does speak his piece. He does say whatever's on his mind. And as far as progression goes in the sport of boxing, I don't know. He did mention Tom Schwartz, so you know how it goes. You got to build up a fighter, especially if you never heard of that fighter, to make this fight somewhat intriguing, to make it appealing to the fight fan. So, but yeah, another thing I wanted to add with Tyson Fury in this interview that he was stating. He was stating that him and Ben were out 6 a.m. drinking. They were like, Vegas is a good place to drink. They were like, well, dude, you can't be drinking while you're training, It's like, why the hell not? He has to understand, gypsies, they have their own lifestyle. Tyson Fury never said he stopped drinking. He probably gave up, mental illness is mental illness, but he never gave up on drinking. So that's one of the dangers, hearing stuff like that from Tyson Fury and me counterpunching it. Those are one of the things that I fear, because let's say he does get a fight with Joshua or a rematch with Wilder, and he does beat Wilder. Similar things can happen, like he fought, or like what happened after the Klitschko win. He could fall through the cracks again. He could relapse. Like mentally, because it's a mental thing with Tyson Fury. That's why he's flip-flop. That's why he's, he'll say one thing and do another thing, you know what I mean? So it's really his mentality that you have to worry about. It's just the question is, how strong is that mentality? Like, at what point will he break and start doing the same shit that he did, get back into the cocaine use, and you know what I mean? Because to my understanding, like, anybody that's went through rehab or whatever, I hear that if you used to do cocaine or smoke weed or whatever, it normally starts at like drinking. Drinking is like that first stage or that gateway. You know, they call it marijuana, but, you know, a lot of people that are addicts, they don't want to drink because that leads to other drugs. You know what I mean? So if your mind is there, you're going to, you know, cross over and graduate to this particular level. So, you know, binge drinking ain't helping. So me hearing him binge drink, that's not a good sign. So, you know, yeah, I would be careful and be really wary about him drinking. But again, you know, he can be strong as an ox mentally at times. But then again, of course, we know he can have a moment of weakness. So let's just hope and pray that that doesn't happen to Tyson Fury, because, you know, he is an asset in the heavyweight division, and he has his own following, his own followers, you know, and a lot of people look up to him. So anyway, that's just me wrapping it up on that interview, counterpunching that interview via the Smo, starring Tyson Fury calling Eddie Hearn a bitch. Tell me what you think about this comment. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.